Alright guys, today we are doing a full week in my homestead kitchen. I did a couple of these videos during preservation season and you guys loved them, and I love filming them because it's just little clips of kind of everything that happened all compiled into one spot, and it makes it really fun to sit down and edit and just put all of those little things together. So I think it's pretty common to think that when you quote unquote homestead, that canning and preserving kind of ends in the fall when the crop does, and that's really not true. All winter long, I'm still going to be taking things out of my freezer. Like today, we're making a Victorian barbecue sauce that uses rhubarb. So I took some rhubarb out of my freezer and made that into a barbecue sauce. And I'm still canning and preserving things that I didn't have time or the energy to do during preservation season. And you're just taking it out of your freezer and making do with whatever you have on hand, taking care of those little canning projects that maybe we just didn't have time for. So you're really busy all winter long, but winter is more of like a relaxed kind of pace, where summer, it feels like it is just never ending and it's a lot of late nights. So there is a full video on this Victorian barbecue sauce. I can link down below for you guys if you want to know about it in depth or anything like that. We haven't tried it yet, but I got 4 pints of really beautiful barbecue sauce. I was able to gift some of it away as well for Christmas already to friends and family, and keep a couple jars on the shelf for my family. As you can see, it's this really rich, deep barbecue sauce. It's supposed to be fantastic on top of like meatloaf or maybe on top of meatballs as a sauce or something like that. So I'm really excited to give this a go, but it was really easy to throw together, pretty simple to work out, and a really relaxed canning project. But this is kind of the first thing that we did worth mentioning, I guess, during this week in the Homestead kitchen. And let's also talk about here the fact that we're also doing a lot of cleaning in the kitchen, right? I didn't put any of that in this video. Of course, we clean our kitchen what seems like 100 times a day. So just because you don't see it here doesn't mean that it didn't happen. That's just the boring stuff that I don't think anybody really cares about. So of course, lots of dishes, lots of doing stuff with the baby on your hip and just getting it done. So here is to the first project of the week, and let's head into the next day where we're making some homemade cleaning products, and that is also a full video that I can link down below. So I had to make some washing soda for some of the homemade cleaners I wanted to be able to make for my family. I've talked about this a little bit, but recently my husband and myself have been doing a ton of research into cleaners that we use every single day in our household, the chemicals that they hold, the microplastics that they leave behind, and just all of the bad stuff, right? When you start looking at things, it's insane what you will find out and what is allowed to be put into consumer products that are going to be ingested into our bodies. So I had to make some washing soda, and all it is baking soda that you bake the moisture out of. So simple, you guys. Do not pay for washing soda. It's ridiculously priced for very small quantities, when all you can do is buy your baking soda in bulk, lay it out on your sheet tray just like this. We're gonna bake it in the oven. You can do 250, 300, 350, just for about 35 minutes. I can link a website down below for you that kind of lays that out for you, how you bake it, why you want to bake it. If you're looking into, or you would just want to do your own research and you're looking for somewhere to start, I can link something down below for you. But very simple. That's all you have to do. Lay it on your sheet tray, put it in the oven, and bake out the moisture for a little bit, and then we can use that washing soda in our own homemade clean. This was the following day where I got time, or I made time to set aside to make dishwasher tabs and toilet bowl cleaners. This is a full video, like I mentioned. I can link it down below, but you can see the chemical reaction bubbling in the bowl there. And I talked about this in that video. I should have let the chemical reaction completely die out before I tried to shove them in my ice cube trays. I didn't. I put them in there too early. Nothing bad happened. I've used one of the toilet fizzies already. They are amazing, you guys. I love them so much. My toilet came out really clean. It was a really nice, refreshing smell because of the Castle soap. One of you guys just commented on how to say it, and I can't remember how to pronounce it already, but it was amazing, you guys. It made my toilet clean, it smelled really good, and it fizzed like kind of low and slow. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it worked really well. And these are our dishwasher tabs here. They pop out super easy out of my ice cube trays, which is what I was a little concerned about, but they pop out awesome. I didn't have to fight with it. They came out in one solid piece, and 100% worth it. I will be using these again. So these are going to be something that I do regularly for my family, and I'm excited to kind of grow my repertoire and try out different scents and just kind of have a little bit of fun with it. So this was another big project in the kitchen. Well, I say big project, but it took about 15-20 minutes, but that's because I was juggling 2 little kids and doing it in kind of increments in between playing with blocks, and I was filming, so it took a little bit longer. But on a day where I didn't have any of those distractions, I would say that all in all this would probably take 10 minutes. Really simple, really easy, and you could make them in bulk and set them aside. You store them in a mason jar underneath your sink or whatever, and they'll be ready to go for when you need them. There's a lot going on behind me right now, but I'm going to show you guys our first way that we love to cook our fish that we catch. You're gonna excuse my Spider-Man stickers. My son was sharing with me, and how could I not oblige? So up on the stove, all I have is a pan with some oil heating up. I'm gonna show you guys my thing up here, but it's real life. I got kids up here, tablets, after school hanging out. So let's flip it around, you're gonna see it all. This is what I've got in front of me right now. This is a bag full of crappie, which is our favorite fish to fry. My husband caught this 2 days ago, so we've got to use it up. We are using this fish fry with a little bit of this Uncle Buck's fish batter, light and crispy. I mix these 2 together in a bowl with a little bit of Old Bay, and then we've got a chicken egg for our wash. So I'm just going to cut these into bite-sized pieces. We're gonna do nuggets tonight, but sometimes I'll leave them in a big fillet like this, bread them, fry them, and then put them on a homemade roll, and we'll do like a fillet of fish at home. Those are delicious as well. That's what we did last time. I'm also going to make up some tartar sauce, so you'll see how we do that in a second. So let's just get all the things rocking and rolling. I'm just going to cut these into nuggets. They're going to take a bath in our eggs, a bath in our batter, and then a deep fryer bath, and come out crispy and light and delicious. So I'll show you guys the finished product, but pretty simple and straightforward. Night got away from me, and I forgot to show you the tartar sauce, but here's our fried fish. I did garlic and Parmesan potato wedges. We like our potato wedges with a little bit of ranch, but our homemade tartar sauce, mayo, a little bit of lemon juice, lemon pepper, maybe a little bit of Cajun, and then we put in some of our homemade pickle relish, and it is fantastic. Super simple, really easy. Colt and I are doing Christmas cookies today, and our first batch didn't turn out too hot. My butter got warm, so my cookies are flat, but that's okay because it's our first batch. These are just plain chocolate chips, so I'm not super worried about it. We just won't hand these out as gifts or anything. We'll just enjoy these. They're still going to taste good. They're just not very pretty to look at. So for our second batch of cookies, which are our peanut butter M&M cookies, if you're wondering how we make these, we follow the instructions for the chocolate chip cookies on the back of our chocolate chips, and then instead of adding chocolate chips, we add in peanut butter filled M&Ms. I also made that dough with warm butter, so I put that dough in the KitchenAid mixer, actually out on my front porch. Super cold, it's 13 degrees today, so it's colder than my freezer. So in just a couple minutes, by the time we're ready to pull the flat chocolate chip cookies out of the oven, we'll be able to scoop out the chilled dough and get it in the oven, and then my cookies will be firm. So basically the plan is for today is to just keep rotating cookies. We'll make a dough, get it in the oven. While that dough's in the oven, we'll make another dough, and then in between, oh yes, in between all of those things, we're just hanging out, we're playing. We've got Christmas cartoons on repeat, just over and over and over. We already made our cutout cookies, which you're gonna see my dirty kitchen, but they're right here. And I'm gonna make more frosting for those because we did a decorating party over the weekend with some of my nieces and nephews. So we made those cutout cookies. We still have tons of sprinkles, so I'm gonna make some frosting so that when the kids get home from school today, they can finish decorating those. All the other cookies will be done hopefully and we'll be able to package up cookies and hand them out to our neighbors before Christmas. So that's the plan for today, just kind of casually in the kitchen. I'm also planning on making pasties for dinner tonight. A couple of weeks ago we prepped pasty filling and I put it in the freezer, so I'm going to pull that out and that's going to be our filling for dinner tonight. And we're going to make Christmas pasties, or breakfast pasties, for Christmas morning today. That's the plan, so we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, you guys, here we are making our pasty dough. It's really simple and pretty straightforward. If you're not new, you know I am terrible at making pie crust. I struggle with it immensely. I don't know why, I just cannot do it. I keep practicing, but I'm not getting any better. In fact, I think I'm getting worse. But this pasty dough is not like that. It is so simple. It's almost foolproof. I've never had an issue with this pasty dough. It's so forgiving. You'll see it while we're rolling it out. It stretches beautifully, and it is, I think, a really great stepping stone for somebody who wants to get into making doughs or something like that and you're a little intimidated, because this is so forgiving. You need half a cup of Crisco, half a cup of lard. This is lard that I rendered down from our pig, but if you don't have lard just chilling around, you can purchase this from a store. It might be a little hard to find, but you do need it. It makes the dough, I think this is what makes a dough so forgiving. So we're gonna get that in our bowl here. I'm washing my hands because my hands are full of pig lard, and then we're gonna dump on top of this our boiling water and set that bowl to the side, and that boiling water is going to melt down the Crisco and the lard and kind of do all the hard work for us while we prep our filling for our pasties. Today we're making two different pasties. We are doing pasties for dinner, and then we are making breakfast pasties for Christmas morning that I was going to make, bake, and put in the freezer to be able to pull out, just pop in the oven on Christmas morning, and be able to have them for a hands-off kind of make-ahead Christmas breakfast. So that's what we're doing today. What I put in the filling for the pasties that we were eating for dinner this night were potatoes, carrots, onions, beef, and a little bit of bear meat. Mix that together with your desired spices, some basil, some oregano, salt, pepper, all of the things, and they turn out amazing. Here are our breakfast pasties. The base for pasties is always potatoes. Root vegetables are the base of any pasty. So you're going to do potatoes, you can do rutabaga. Rutabaga is absolutely amazing in pasties. It's like a little bit of a sweeter potato. It's not like a sweet potato, but it's somewhere in there. But man, is it good. So in our breakfast pasties, I did breakfast sausage, bacon, potatoes, salt, pepper, chives. You can throw in eggs in here, but if you want eggs, you have to scramble your eggs on the stove first and then put in your scrambled eggs on top of your mixture here. We're not cooking this mixture. This mixture goes in raw in the pasty dough, and we bake it all in the oven. Here's our pasty dough once we mixed in our flour and our salt. You can see just how unbelievably forgiving this is. You just mix it up until you get it to this kind of soft dough. Cover it, put it in the fridge, and you let it chill for, I don't know, about an hour and a half, just until the dough is chilled thoroughly. Then you can pull it out, go ahead and roll it out, and start shoving or stuffing your pasties with your desired mixture. I also love cabbage in my pasties. If I'm getting pasties from a pasty shop, my go-to is beef and cabbage. So delicious. My other go-to would be like beef, cabbage, rutabaga. It's fantastic. So here we are. You can weigh your pasty dough as you cut them out to make sure that every pasty is the same size, or you get your desired amount of pasties out of your dough. I don't do that. I'm not that precise. I just kind of take a chunk, roll it out, and however big it is how much stuffing I will put in there. But you can see just how forgiving this is. It really stretches, and I like to make some pasties that are bigger, some pasties that are smaller. I do have young kids, so a little pasty is perfect for them. And then everyone gets their own little individual pasty, and it works out really well for us. So I don't mind if I have some bigger pasties and some smaller pasties, because it works out for my family. As you kind of shape your pasty, you just have to cut a couple air vents on them, kind of like you would a hand pie, and you're good to go. I try to roll my pasties out in a circle. It just holds better. It's easier to fold over. If you can't get it into a circle, no worries. It really doesn't matter. It's just kind of the aesthetics of it, but we're just doing the same thing. These are our breakfast pasties here. We are shoving them with our mixture and just kind of pinching them shut. I kind of braid mine over. You can see I'm kind of twisting and then pulling the excess over each other. It makes this really beautiful crust, this little lip on the outside of the pasty, which makes it delicious. That's the best part of the pasty if you don't know. And then when you go to bake them in the oven, you just brush them over with an egg wash and they come out golden, and the top is baked really beautifully, and it gives it this really nice crunch on the outside. It's delicious. It's one of my favorite parts of the pasty. Then we personally like to dip our pasties in gravy. It's kind of, I don't think it's controversial, but there are team gravies and team ketchups. Two of our kids are team ketchups. Our other two kids are team gravy. My husband and I are also team gravy. So take it as you will. I think it also depends on what you shove your pasties full of. So because of all the toppings or all the fixings that I like my pasties in, I'm always team gravy. Our kids, they're just team ketchup. I guess maybe it's just a kid thing, but let me know down below if you've ever had a pasty or if you've never had a pasty. What do you think you would be, team gravy or team ketchup? That kind of concludes the week in my homestead kitchen, at least some of the bigger projects that I thought you guys would like to see. Let me know down below what you guys are doing this week in your kitchen. I know it's crazy coming up on the holidays. Christmas is right around the corner. I hope that you guys get a little bit of a reset before Christmas, and I will catch you guys in another video.